Good morning, everybody. This story is told of the great Hasidic master Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. He was known as a great miracle worker. Many would come to him for advice and blessing. Once a very wealthy man entered his office. And the Baal Shem Tov asked him, "What can I do for you?" And he responded, "Thank God I have health, I have my wealth, everything is fine. I just came to be in your presence." So the Baal Shem Tov said, "In that case, I'm going to tell you a story. There were once two young children studying by a teacher together. They both came from very wealthy families, and they developed a very strong friendship, to the point that even after they both got married and moved to two different cities, they still kept in contact by writing letters to each other. However, as time went on, the responsibilities grew greater, and they lost contact. One day, one of them lost all of his money, everything, gone. Not knowing what to do, he remembered he had a very good friend in the other town that is also very wealthy. So he borrowed clothing from other people to dress himself and be presentable. And he went to visit his friend, hoping his friend would bail him out. He comes to his friend, and his friend sees him and says, "Wow, I have to make a meal for you, I'll make a party." And as they're sitting together and celebrating, the wealthy man asks his friend, "Nu, what's going on?" And he says, "To be honest with you, I lost everything. Even the clothing that I'm wearing is borrowed." So the wealthy man said, "Don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it." He went, he made a calculation of what he owns, what his value is, and he gave him half of his riches. And he said, "Here, God should help you, and go. Go back home and make it happen." He went back home, and he became very, very successful. In the meantime, the rich man that gave the money, he lost everything. Now he decided he's going to come back to his friend and see if he can help him out now. And that's what he did. He came to the first guy, and he presented himself. And the first guy, now that he became even wealthier than before, he didn't recognize him. He didn't know who he was. He didn't want to know who he was. Totally ignored him and sent him flying. The man was broken. He went to the shul, went to the synagogue. He poured his heart out to Hashem, and God answered his prayers, and somehow he got back on to the wheel of fortune, and he became also very wealthy. In the meantime, the first guy, after a couple of years, he lost everything, and he didn't know what to do. He decided he's going to go back to his friend. He went back to his friend the second time, and he pleaded for forgiveness and asked him to help him. So the second guy says, "You know what, I'm going to help you, but this time we're writing a contract. I'm not giving you the money, I'm lending you the money, because I see we both go up and down. So when I'm going to need it, we have a contract that you have to pay me back the money that I'm giving you." And they agreed. They signed the contract, he gave him the money, and everybody went their separate way. A couple of years later, again, the second wealthy man lost all his money. He went back to the first man, and he showed him the paper, thinking that he's going to pay him. But the first guy was so arrogant and so powerful that even the paper didn't help. He went back to his town and just went through life as best as he can and lived and passed away as a poor man. After 120, when both of them came up to heaven, the second guy was granted to go into Gan Eden, to go into heaven. He was a nice guy all his life. He helped no matter what. The first guy, however, he was told, "You can't go anywhere. You're going to pay the price." The friend heard this. He said, "No way, I cannot allow that my friend should be punished because of me." So the heavenly court said, "Well, listen, he has to pay the price. He has to do something. If you want, we'll give you the option to decide what should happen to him." Knowing that he has to also compensate for what his friend did, he said he's willing that both of them should go back down into this world. He'll be the poor man. The first man will be the rich man. And as a poor man, he will come numerous times to this man for donations, and slowly he will get his money back. And that's what happened. The thing is, the Baal Shem Tov was telling this rich man, that poor man came to this rich man's house, and the rich man ignored him and sent him away. And the poor man was so poor and so dependent on the donations that day he starved to death and he died. When the rich man heard that, he fainted, because when he left that day to the Baal Shem Tov, there was a poor man that came to his house, and later that day, that poor man died. And when he heard the story, he realized that he is that man that was supposed to help that person, and he forfeited this opportunity. He asked the Baal Shem Tov, what could I do? The Baal Shem Tov said, if you can go to find the family and to help them, and they should forgive you for what you did, and to console them, then you'll be able to have your tikkun, you'll be able to have your fixing. And that's exactly what he did. This is a powerful lesson for all of us. We do not know the opportunities that come at our doorstep, how powerful and how important they are, and how dependent our lives can be on those decisions that we make. So when you get something coming to your door, or you see opportunity, and you could do something about it, go for it, make it happen. Hey, you never know. Take care.